Welcome, my friend. You didn't land here by chance. This moment was marked for you. You're not just watching a video. You're stepping into a reminder that God still speaks, often in ways we least expect. Have you ever felt like the universe, or maybe something higher, was giving you a subtle nudge? A whisper through the noise? Not coincidence, but divine choreography. That quiet voice that says, "Look again, there's meaning here." It's the verse behind the veil, the pattern in the chaos. Proverbs 16:9 tells us, "In their hearts humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps." Sometimes He uses the most surprising people and places to move us forward. You might pour your soul into something, your story, your art, your mission, and out of nowhere, someone you've never met before shows up and sees you more clearly than those who've known you for years. A stranger leaves a comment that shakes your doubt. A distant follower becomes your most loyal encourager. These aren't accidents, they're divine appointments. John 10:27 says, "My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me." Some people are sent into your life, not because of where you've been, but because of where you're going. They hear the call in your voice, the call God placed in you, and they answer, not out of obligation, but alignment. That's the beauty. They don't carry your past. They're drawn to your purpose. And while our close relationships are sacred, sometimes it's those on the edge of your circle who hold the clearest mirror. The ones who remind you what you're really made of. And yet, there's a deeper layer to this: solitude, the kind that can feel like exile. You might be in that space right now, alone, overlooked, misunderstood. But listen closely, this isn't abandonment, it's refinement. It's the sacred wilderness where clarity begins. It's where Moses stood before the burning bush, where David learned to sing his most honest songs, where Jesus himself withdrew to pray. Isaiah 30:15 says, "In quietness and trust is your strength." The enemy wants to twist your solitude into shame. He'll tell you that you're forgotten, that no one sees, that you're wasting your time. But that's a lie, because God does His deepest work in hidden places. This is where He teaches you to walk by faith, not applause. This is where the roots grow deep. So if you're in that silent season, keep going. Your tribe is gathering, your voice is growing, and your next chapter is already being written. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to stand out, for a reason, for a calling, for such a time as this. Sometimes the greatest act of love someone can offer is to walk away. It hurts. Let's not pretend it doesn't. It feels like abandonment. It feels like a broken promise. You imagined growing old with that friend, building a life with that partner, building a legacy with that teammate. But now, all that's left is silence, absence, an echo where connection used to be. And yet, what if this isn't the end of something precious, but the beginning of something sacred? What if that goodbye is God's way of clearing your path? Not to punish, but to protect. Not to wound, but to free. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? Isaiah 43:19. Maybe the heartbreak is heaven's invitation to rise. Maybe what you're calling rejection is actually redirection, holy, intentional, and necessary. We often don't see clearly in the moment, just like you can't see the full glory of a mountain range when your face is pressed against the rock. God sees what you can't. He hears what you won't. He knows the hidden motives, the buried weights, the silent sabotage. And when He starts removing people, it's not cruelty, it's clarity, it's love in action. In John 15:2, Jesus said, "Every branch that does bear fruit He prunes, so that it will be even more fruitful." Sometimes that pruning looks like separation, like endings. But don't confuse pruning with punishment. It's preparation, it's purpose. This isn't about blaming anyone. It's about releasing. It's about trusting that everyone is walking their own path. And sometimes those paths no longer run side by side. That's not failure. That's freedom, and that's maturity. And don't think this only applies to friendships or romantic partners. For some of you, the shift is happening within your own bloodline, families, generations, and it's painful. But Jesus was clear in Matthew 12:50, "For whoever does the will of my Father in heaven is my brother and sister and mother." God's family is not defined by DNA, but by divine alignment. If God is removing someone from your life, He's not taking something from you. He's making room for something greater. He is unblocking the blessing, tearing down the walls, lifting the veil. He says, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." Isaiah 54:17. That includes the quiet weapons, manipulation, distraction, stagnation. So let go without bitterness, trust without needing all the answers, and walk forward, not with regret, but with reverence. Because God is not just writing your story, He is editing it, line by line, cutting out the parts that no longer serve your purpose. This is a holy reset, a divine recalibration, and it's leading you somewhere beautiful. This is not just a season of change, it's a divine crossing point. God is reshaping you, cutting away the noise, the distractions, the attachments that once felt comfortable but no longer carry the weight of your purpose. This is about alignment, sacred alignment. And to walk in it fully, you must be willing to let go of anyone or anything that pulls you out of sync with heaven's call on your life. For some of you, that means finally setting boundaries. You've given your heart away piece by piece, serving, sacrificing, showing up, hoping loyalty would be returned in kind. But now you're awakening, you're seeing it clearly. The people you've poured yourself out for are not the ones pouring back. And here's the revelation: God never said they would be. Instead, He is sending strangers who somehow see you, truly see you. They weren't part of your past, but they recognize the fire God has placed in you. And they respond, not out of obligation, but out of spiritual recognition. As Proverbs 27:17 says, "As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another." These are your divine connections. They speak life into your dreams, not because they know your story, but because they know His Spirit and they sense it moving in you. Jesus made it clear: spiritual kinship outweighs blood. Whoever does the will of my Father in heaven is my brother and sister and mother. That's not just a nice quote. That's kingdom structure. That's how God defines family. So yes, you may feel the sting of distance. You may feel the ache of misunderstanding from those who've known you longest. But understand this: it's biblical. Jesus said, "No prophet is accepted in his hometown." Luke 4:24. Familiarity breeds dismissal, and when God sets someone apart, it often disrupts the comfort zones of those closest to them. You, chosen one, are the disruption. God placed something rare in you: a voice, a vision, a light not meant to be hidden. This isn't about ego, it's about obedience. As Jesus said in Matthew 5:14-16, "You are the light of the world. Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." Your elevation isn't about making you famous, it's about making Him known. But elevation requires purification. God had to strip away the old layers, false identities, unhealthy patterns, outdated expectations, so that His Spirit could move freely through you. That's what this season has been: preparation. And now, He's calling you to rise. Don't shrink to fit old rooms. Don't silence your voice to appease old relationships. The time for dimming your light is over. Some of you are already stepping into new assignments, launching bold projects, answering callings you didn't see coming. And look at what's happening. The loudest encouragement, it's coming from new faces, people who just met you but somehow believe in you more than those who've known you for years. That's not coincidence. That's confirmation. God is building your tribe, your spiritual allies, those who will pray for you, fight with you, and run beside you. As Psalm 68 verse 6 declares, God sets the lonely in families. He's not leaving you isolated. He's repositioning you for purpose, for power, for impact. So, if you feel the separation, don't resist it. Let it happen. Let God clear out what can't go where you're going, and keep your heart open. The people who are meant to walk with you will recognize you, not because you've convinced them, but because their spirit bears witness with yours. Trust that. Trust Him. This is divine orchestration. You're not losing. You're being realigned. The stage is being set. The audience is shifting, and your light is only getting brighter. Stay the course.